Greetings. My name is Victor Fiore. I'm also known as Hadouken Dude. My YouTube channel is HitTheFloor729. Most of you probably remember my works as Swords Misadventures, Mortal Kombat Mishaps, and even the recent one that I'm making is Harvest Moon, a little mini series based on Harvest Moon. And I'm here with the Doomey5, who's going to interview me with asking me regular questions about the inspiration behind the stuff that I do. And well, take it away.
No, thank you. I got also here with me is AJ from TeamMapige. We're doing this new series to doing interviews with certain people when we have time to get them, of course. And today we have Mr. Victor, which is nice to have you here. Like I said.
Nice to be here.
Anyway, let's start off with the question from before because this is technically a second recording because the other recording got really fucked up. So.
Yeah. So, so of course the question is like the origin behind Swords Misadventures. It's actually a long story. So it all dates back to like 2002. That was when Nintendo announced a Link to the Past. Being having this little bundle, this mini game called Four Swords, and I thought it was a really cool idea that they actually expanded that into being more than just a one-player game. That was like in the Game Boy Advance era of video games back then, like 2002. Imagine that. So of course, later on, this was think of it as June 2002, so to speak. Imagine 5 months later, I stumbled across Newgrounds, and that was introduced to a bunch of video game parodies as well as original content. And of course, I stumbled across this project called 8-Bit Theater, which is made by Brian Clevenger, and there was actually a Flash animation version that only lasted 5-6 episodes. And basically, it was the story of these adventures, these warriors just trying to find an adventure. So a couple of months passed, and I started to think about the different parodies that I've been watching on Newgrounds, and I wondered to myself, how come no one has ever done a Four Swords parody? And that's when it hit me. Of course, this was I came up with the idea in 2003. Of course, keep in mind that back then I had no knowledge in Flash, I had no knowledge in Photoshop, I couldn't figure out how paint worked. I mean, I was practically a noob back then. So the only thing I could probably do was at least write a script. And I wrote a script on my notebook, just making up the story as I went along. And of course, yeah, to make matters worse, I had very little knowledge of the game whatsoever, of the Four Swords game, so I had to make up the story on the spot. And of course, that was where the original concept came about, that original draft. Of course, I eventually abandoned it and decided to reboot the whole thing after a year and a half later, in 2004, once I actually got more experience in Flash.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a long story.
Yeah. It's really interesting because your series was the very first series that actually was an ongoing series on Newgrounds, and I discovered it during a time when I was really getting addicted to Zelda for hours and hours on end. I'd be looking for fucking Zelda shit. Be like, okay, let's see, Zelda this, and I'm like, I wonder if there's a Zelda Flash series. I should look that up, and I look it up, and I find your series, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, that's awesome. That's a hilarious series, and a lot of people agreed with me, and a lot of them are always like, wow, where do you have the time to do this? And the ideas that come into your head, where do they come from?
Well, from anything that I can get inspiration from. Basically, if I watch TV or there's a funny joke, if sorry about that, my sister in the background. Basically, anything that I just come across. Let's say, for example, if I watch something on TV, I eventually reference that, because of course I I heavily referenced a lot of TV and movie stuff in my series, especially in the last 3-4 episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, oh, I'm sorry. Also, I usually get jokes thinking about what would happen if certain events occur in the actual games. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if the magic mirror breaks? What if this little incident happens with a super cuckoo? And just things just pop out of nowhere sometimes.
Yeah, they're really good. I noticed. Yeah. Speaking of Super Cuckoo, where did Super Cuckoo come from? besides
Oh,
Dragon Ball
that's
Z?
well, the whole origin of the Super Cuckoo, it was supposed to be a joke, actually.
Yeah.
What's that sound?
We all caught on to that, obviously.
Yeah, of course. I got like the idea from like constantly playing Ocarina of Time because as a kid I loved the game. I practically know it like the back of my hand,
Same.
as well as Majora's Mask and A Link to the Past. And since you know the constant tradition, well, with the exception of Twilight Princess, that when you attack a cuckoo, the cuckoos retaliate. So I decided to do like my own version and give it a Dragon Ball Z twist because, of course, I'm also a Dragon Ball fan. So I figured I'd just throw that in there for like suspense and drama. You know, just to shock everyone. It's mainly for shock value for humor.
Yeah, and it was a lot of people loved it. People just pissed themselves laughing for hours on end. Anyway,
It's like,
I'm gonna let AJ ask a few questions here.
I don't really have a question though. It did, I did notice, but I don't. I haven't really seen stuff.
Sorry, folks. His mic's a little bit weird on Skype. Just to let you know.
could he? You think he could type me the question so I can understand it? Sorry about that. That's
It's a little bit fuzzy on your end. AJ, can you type the question in the Skype chat for him, please? He sorry, we're sorry, but it's just, he can't really see it. So, let's think here. I'm fresh out of questions right now. I'm gonna have to figure out some more here. Have you ever met any other YouTube Flash animators?
you mean in person or
Like in person or like through some kind of media or whatever?
For the most part, I meet a lot of Newgrounds animators, either on Newgrounds or when I have when I have them on Skype or on MSN. Of course, back then I had like a bunch of Newgrounds users on MSN. There was even one point where I actually met the creator of Super Mario Bros. Z, and I chatted with him once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was years ago. I mean, we were just sharing ideas. Of course, we respected each other's work, and I don't know if anyone ever pointed out that the fact that we both share the same birthday, which is a little unusual.
Really? You guys share the same birthday? I had no idea.
July 29th, 1984.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's a huge coincidence.
That's
So
random.
in a way, I know in a way we sort of relate.
Yeah,
I mean, with the exception that he works more in Mario, I work more in Zelda.
yeah, isn't that weird? That's weird. It's like you guys both like had to pick something from Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're both-
Also, I even
Oh, sorry.
I even got in contact with the late Randy Solom, who's known for video game director's cuts. Like I don't know if you're familiar with his work.
Oh, I know his work. Yeah.
Yeah, I got in contact with him once when he was supposedly promoting a project that eventually got canceled later on about Zelda 2. And of course, I gave him my support, and he messaged me, and apparently he checked out my flashes, and somehow made a comment saying that I'm a bigger Zelda nerd than he is.
Okay.
True story. True story, and that was flattering, really.
Yeah. Wow. You're probably just like, thanks for that. And
Yeah,
just
so-
like, you're welcome, and you're just like, bugger.
Yeah, it was just a quick. It was just a quick message.
Oh, yeah. Just to let you know, I'm gonna tell you one of the things that I've done through my channel. Back in the day with my channel, I always took the one music video that you did with the 4 links singing on stage and that. I took that picture
Yeah.
and I used that for a lot of my live streams and my my gaming stuff because I was thinking of an icon for my channel for a long time. And I just seen like one of the pictures that you or one of your Flash animations. I like screen captured it and then I like took the picture and then put it as my my like YouTube section. I'm like, yeah, that'll do for now. Let's see. Let's do some new Zelda shit on my channel. And all right, we're back. We had some audio issues. We're all good now. Let's see here. I'm running out of questions. Did you ever see Master Link X's videos on YouTube at one point?
Master Link X sounds familiar. You mind? What are his animations?
He didn't never do. He never did animations, but he did the Legend of Zelda blooper series or whatever. You ever seen that?
I think I've heard of it, but I'm not really like that into detail into it.
It's a series that he did where it was basically just him trying to get to Ganondorf, and he was the very first one to do the really high pitched Link voice, which I adapted eventually and took as my own, and yeah, it was pretty funny at the time, but nowadays it's completely like overmissed. It used to be actually one of the #1 things on YouTube, and then it just died out of obscurity. And I recommend checking that out. So
Right, right.
it's really creative. It gives you like an idea of what to do with Zelda in a way. Anyway,
By the way, back to that, back to the whole thing about the voice actors that came about. Of course, I already mentioned that Mario, who was apparently, wanted to get into the project, and of course, I got him in the project. He was like 14 at the time, so I figured, what the hell, why not? Yeah, he at first there was a bit of trouble with the recordings and the audios, but over time he started improving it. He started adapting better to his character. Spike the Penguin, which was of course Red Link, he no, he was usually the one that's like he was like the breakout character of sorts. Um, yeah, he was a really funny. Well, he's a really funny guy. Uh, the thing is that once episode 3 ended, of course he had to leave the project because he was busy with other things. And of course, I had to immediately find a replacement for that Red Link, and then I found Bald Boy 64, which real name is Richard, and he did like a different take of Red Link at the time. So basically, it's like comparing two different sides of Daffy Duck's personality. You know what I mean? So I kind of like portray it that way sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
So then there was also this other voice actor. I think what was his name again? Sorry, it says that it's been a while since I've lost contact with him. Crap. Well, the guy that plays Blue Link. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry if I forgot the guy's name. But yeah, he was also really good with He was also really good with the voice acting. He was like a very unique voice. He was more like the voice of reason, and it actually fit his character very well. But unfortunately, after episode 7, things fell through. Apparently, he was just his life apparently just got busier and busier, and I just lost contact with him. So
right.
I had to make those changes in episode 8, and unfortunately, I had like 2 reds in episode 8 from that point on.
Oh, really? What are you planning on doing for the newer seasons or whatever?
Well, right now I'm just continuing where the episode left off, because I actually made like a teaser, a little preview on my channel. You know, that actually showed like those the first 2 minutes of the scene.
I always see those, yeah.
Yeah, where basically you had to like do the whole money making game thing that Oshis is making up. Supposedly he's making up. I don't know, or I don't know. We could say it that way. The whole point is that they're going to help an old lady with her bags, but it's not what it seems. And then things get even worse later on.
Oh boy.
I don't want to go into detail, but yeah.
Because it's like spoilers, yeah.
Yeah, too many spoilers.
Nobody wants spoilers.
Yeah.
Or they like get like crazy. So.
Oh, also, back to the whole thing about the voice actors. The funny thing is that when it came to Rena-chan, it was a very curious and kind of spontaneous in a way, because it was like around the time when I was actually developing episode 2, and I was posting it in a forum trying to see if anyone was interested in voice acting, and then she suddenly popped up saying, "Can I be Zelda?" And I was like, "What?" And of course, at that time, I didn't really actually have a part for her, so I had to finish episode 2, which was a 2-parter eventually, because I was actually making up the story on the spot. So by the time I did episode 3, I eventually wrote her in and gave her like a part exclusively for her, and from that point on, she became Zelda.
Yeah, she does amazing. She's a perfect Zelda for the whole series. She's really good voice actor. So she just said, "Can I come on? Can I join?" Like that.
She pretty much wrote it like that. "Can I be Zelda?" Like that.
You're just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm serious.
That's awesome.
Everything just fell into place.
Wow, that works perfectly in a way.
Well, it was. Well, to be fair, it was at that time that Rina-chan was practically the only voice actress in Newgrounds, way before the other voice actors started to bloom out.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was like the only one, and apparently it was like it got to the point where the.
Okay.
Is that a pepperoni with extra cheese?
It's gotta be pepperoni, man. It's pepperoni, AJ.
No anchovies, all right?
That's awesome. It's just like, fuck you. It's like, damn it, Dad! You ruined this recording. You're ruining everything. That's fine.
I don't know if we're still recording or not.
Technically we are, but it's fine. AJ's gonna leave us. So I guess I'll take over from here.
Okay, just to continue, yeah. Back then, of course, Rina Chen, she asked for a part. I accepted with no hesitation. Fine. But it was at that time in Newgrounds where she was the only voice actress, and she got eventually like overexposure. I mean, literally overexposure to the point that she started having hate. A lot of people hating her because she was just too damn annoying. She was everywhere.
Really?
So they wanted other alternatives. Yeah, just look at the comments that she got in Brawl Taunts. I mean, everybody started criticizing her.
Well, that's terrible because she's a really good voice actor.
She is a really good one.
Yeah.
But apparently she was just. I think it's the overexposure that people got tired of.
Yeah.
But I do respect her. I mean, she's a great voice actress.
Yeah. At least she puts time into doing voices for characters and stuff, unlike a lot of other people who just kind of say, "It's to see her," like something like that.
Also, I have a funny story regarding another voice actress who actually played Marilyn in episode 8. It was actually a somewhat of a long story. Like, it occurred when I was actually developing episode 6, because I actually wrote the episodes 5, 6, and 7 like all at the same time because it was like a huge trilogy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it was like around episode 6 that I started getting in contact with her, and of course I listened to her tapes, her demos, and I wanted her to be Marilyn. So, of course, like a couple of weeks passed, and we start chatting, and then she asked me, she starts asking me saying, can I ask you a rhetorical question? And I'm like, yeah, what is it? It was like, if you ever decide to replace me, would you let me know? And I'm like, why would I replace you? And then she like gives me that explanation saying that someone apparently replaced her in another project the last minute and no one told her. And she was really upset about it, and I felt kind of bad for her. So, of course, a couple of weeks later, I remember like I was coming back from a friend's house. I was taking the bus, and all of a sudden I had this like this good idea about introducing two characters that barely had any screen time and introduce them as a bonus scene. So that was like the result of episode 7's bonus scene with Zelda and Malin supposedly bickering over screen time.
Yeah, that's where that joke came from. Okay.
Yeah, that's where the joke came from. So I eventually like pitched the idea to her. She loved it. Of course, I decided to give her Rina-chan her part as well, even though she only had like 2 crummy lines, literally. Yeah. So eventually we kind of discussed it. Well, me and Biku, that's her username on Skype. And of course we were talking about it, and I remember she made this little comment saying, looking back, I feel kind of embarrassed that I exploded on you like that. But it was all good in the end.
In the end, she made a great joke, and everybody loved it. So.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a little bit about villains here. With the voice of Darklink, since you do the voice of Darklink as well, have you ever thought of like trying to like amp his voice in a way, or are you gonna keep it like the same as it is in the rest of the series?
I usually try to keep his voice a little deeper normally, though it's supposed to be basically it's a reflection of Link, of the real Link. And it's a little more complicated than it seems, though. He's supposed to be like the more evil, darker, instead of being like nice, noble, somewhat naive, which is the original Link. But basically, I introduced the idea of Dark Link as if it was like Agent Smith from the Matrix. I mean, that was like the whole point of the joke.
Yeah, that's such a great joke.
So it's so overused, but I did that like during the time when the Matrix was still big on the internet, especially when there were a lot of a lot of parodies based on the Matrix.
Yeah.
Mostly, I should give a shout out to Joseph Blanchett, legendary frog, because he did like two. He did like two. What was the word? Two collabs. That was called The Matrix. What was it? I think The Matrix Has You, or something like that.
The Matrix Has You. I don't think I've ever seen that. I need to check that out then.
No, it's really funny. I recommend it. And a lot of users actually, chipped in with their own ideas. It was really funny.
Yeah, I'll check that out because that sounds like it'd be awesome to listen to. All right. Let me think here. Just gonna think of a few more questions here, and then I think we'll be good. Let me think here. Sorry, this just makes sense. It's been a long day. Where did Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm completely I'm out of ideas. I wish AJ was here, but I'm on my own now, so I'm gonna have to figure out a few questions here. Why do you put Full Metal Alchemist music in that for the intros and outros and stuff like that?
I was big on Full Metal Alchemist at the time.
And you still are?
Well, after the reboot series ended, interest has already died down.
Really?
Because I used to watch Full Metal Alchemist when there was a channel called Animax here, and then that eventually closed down because of corporate Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course it was big for me at the time. Then when I saw the reboot, of course I started loving the show again.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the series Sword Art Online?
Sorry?
Have you ever seen the series Sword Art Online?
No, I haven't seen it.
Ooh, that's a series that you might like. It's got a lot of flack from a lot of people, but I think it's really good, and I think you might like it because it's got a guy getting stuck in a virtual world, almost kind of like Dot Hack Sign, almost. But
Yes.
where it's kind of like almost like the Matrix. Like if you die in the game, you die in real life. So it's really interesting. I think you probably might like it. So
I'll check it out.
where did the idea of the music videos come from?
I think it all started when I actually watched the first Highlander movie that was actually on TV at the time. Because, of course, I was not really familiar with Highlander that much, with the exception of what was it? Yeah, it was the TV show. Of course, I wasn't that into it at the time, but then I checked out the movie. I thought it was awesome. Then I started realizing about the whole concept of Queen and making the music for the TV show and the movies. And I started getting hooked on Highlander and the whole concept. And from there on, I started using Queen music with relating it to Zelda. And I realized how much they actually blend.
Yeah, because it turned out really well. Like the whole all the songs that you've used and stuff. So.
And yeah, I've been actually wanting to make another one, but due to the whole copyright issues, I can't really make anymore.
Yeah, copyright. I hate that, don't you?
Yeah.
Freaking copyright. But yeah, I think that's basically all the questions I have for this recording session. Thank you for coming in, of course.
Thanks for having me.
And yeah, can't wait to see the next episode. And yeah.
All right.
This has been Doomey5 TeamMapige and Victor Ferrari. Sorry, I can't.
Victor Fury.
Hadouken Dude. We're thankful that you were able to show up, and we'll see you next time, subscribers and people who watch this video. Bye.
All right.